The rhetorical précis. What is it, and how do you write one?
As you have probably inferred from its name, a rhetorical précis seeks to describe the rhetorical characteristics or features of a text in precise, highly specific language.
A rhetorical précis differs from a summary in that it is less neutral and more analytical of both the content and the method. What does this mean? It's analytical, meaning it breaks down the whole thing, it's a text, into its component parts, meaning and purpose and language, discussing what the text says and how the text develops its meaning. Its language is specific and concise.
Its highly controlled form is part of the mental discipline imposed upon those of us who master and internalize the demands of the rhetorical précis. There are 4 sentences, not 3, not 5, but 4. These sentences provide a condensed statement of the text's main point, the summary part, followed by brief statements about its essential rhetorical elements, its purpose, methods, and intended audience.
Each sentence has a highly specific function. Sentence 1, name of the author, the genre, the title of the work, the date in parentheses, a rhetorically accurate verb, and a that clause, which has the major assertion or thesis statement of the work. Sentence 2 is an explanation of how the author is going to develop the thesis, and this is usually going to roll out in chronological order.
Sentence 3 is a statement of the author's main purpose, followed by an order to phrase that indicates the change in reader or society the author wants to achieve. The last sentence, sentence 4, is a description of the intended audience and or the relationship the author establishes with that audience. Let's take a look at a few examples.
In Would Someone Stick a Sock in Elmo, LA Times, November 2006, satirist Joel Stein asserts that Elmo and his fuzzy crew are dumbing down the classic children's television show Sesame Street. With his characteristic sarcastic tone, Stein utilizes scatological jokes, humorous but scathing diction, and abundant pop culture references to make the very serious claim that Elmo leads his young audience to expect that adorable stupidity and bland neediness will be a surer path to success than the development of real character or intelligence. As an avid culture watcher and social critic, Stein is highlighting the downhill slide of Sesame Street in order to question our reverence for empty celebrity. Stein assumes that his readers are adults who will remember the old Sesame Street with its quirky, smart characters and who just may be a little sick of the schmarmy red fuzzball and his cohort of celebrities who command so much attention yet offer so little in return. If you look at this rhetorical précis, you can see there it follows the form perfectly. Here's the rhetorically accurate verb, the that clause, the main idea. Sentence 2 is going to list out the way the piece is developed. Why did he write it? To question our reference for empty celebrity. That's the purpose, sentence 3. And finally, his relationship with his audience. And I want you to notice that any quote is very, very spare. It's not, we don't use the author's language much at all.
Let's take a look at another one. In his funeral oration for Julius Caesar, Mark Antony suggests that Caesar was a great benefactor to the Roman people, who was wrongfully murdered. Mark Antony makes this assertion through an increasingly bitter and ironic characterization of Brutus as a noble man, and by listing Caesar's many generous acts, concluding with the legacy Caesar left to the Roman people in his will. Antony's purpose is to incite a riot against the conspirators in order to avenge Caesar's death and prevent the conspirators from taking control of Rome. Because the audience is emotionally vulnerable and volatile, and is initially sympathetic to Brutus, Mark Antony first pretends to share his audience's regard for Brutus before turning the crowd against Caesar's killers. Again, this rhetorical précis does follow the structure as well. Notice, first of all, that this précis is covering a different text altogether. This is a speech, more specifically a funeral oration, and can be analyzed a little differently. Also, take a look at the rhetorically accurate verb. It suggests, there's a subtle distinction there. It's not argues, it's not contends, but suggests, which does have a little different meaning. The next sentence, of course, lays out the development more or less as it rolled out in the play. in chronological order. And also the third sentence reveals Anthony's intentions clearly, right? It talks about as it was spelled out in the speech as well. The last sentence, of course, the audience-speaker relationship is evident as well. And here is Mark Anthony.
Take a look at this one and hit the pause button so you can study and internalize the structure.
As you can see, when you can write a carefully crafted rhetorical précis, you are demonstrating most persuasively that you understand the rhetorical situation, which includes the author, the purpose, the audience, and the context from which the text emerged. The main idea of the text, its argument or central point, the evidence that supports or methods of development used to flesh out this main idea or argument or central point.
So there you go, kids. Have fun. Write a whole lot of rhetorical précis and impress the heck out of everyone who knows you.